Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. So marketing and branding, those are the things you always hear, and they are important because if they don't know you, then, and they meaning audience, then you cannot grow. So today I have Berlyn Komar in the house, and she's going to talk about that as well as some other things. And so I'm your host, Charisse Walker, and Berlyn, without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm Berlyn. I'm a digital marketing strategist and I own Plant and Marketing, which is a full service agency for purpose-driven brands. And we specialize in organic content marketing and just really building a loyal community around your brand. I also have a education hub for solopreneurs called The Greenhouse, which is a place to learn how to do all of your marketing on your own, and I'm there to support you along the way.
Fantastic. So for those people that are entrepreneurs that are just starting out, what is some advice that you have for them when it comes to marketing or branding?
Yeah. So I would say first diving in is to really understand your brand. A lot of us just get really excited and dive in, but without taking time to understand our why and our values and just really why we want to do this, who we want to help and support along the way, and who that audience is too. So really identifying those two things will help you create everything else. So like your content, it'll help you speak directly to your audience and we all want to be like person to speak to everybody. We want to have this huge audience, but the reality is things will move much quicker if we speak to like really dedicated audience. So narrowing that in is important. And then just kind of understanding how you want to test out your marketing, what do you want to do first. Having your website is really huge. That's a major first step. So that's really where you want to get all of your audience to go to. So a lot of people will rely on the Canva landing page or just use like a link in bio situation, but having a website is really, really important. So spending time investing in that first and then testing out how you want to reach your audience and get started.
So do you help people build the website or do you just give tips? How do you help people?
Yeah, so with the agency, we definitely do all of that. We can start like building your website. We launch your website and help with different launch strategies as well. If you're in the community and you're doing a more DIY approach, I have resources to help you. I'm doing like sales and landing page reviews. So I'm always like checking in and supporting people who are DIYing their stuff too.
Yeah, but if you don't know how to do it, then pay
Yeah.
somebody because it is honestly, it is. So what are some of the biggest mistakes business owners make when they're starting out?
hmm I would say one, not understanding your brand and your audience is huge. And then two, thinking that it happens really quickly. So it's really a time investment. Nothing happens overnight. And when we see these people that appear like it happens overnight, they're not on their first or second business. They probably have a huge personal audience. Maybe they have a lot of money. So these overnight successes aren't truly overnight successes. And so we see that. And we think we can do the same thing, but the reality is it takes a long time to see things come to life. So because of that, we give up quickly when really we just need to be persistent and just be in that mind space ahead of time, knowing that this is going to take some time to grow and I'm ready to like dedicate myself to that.
You know, that is so true because I know somebody that it's been 5 years and she consistently posts every single day on Instagram. I I talked with her one day because I mean she went through a pretty big family, like she lost a loved one, and it was a pretty devastating long thing. And while she's going through all of that, she was still posting every single day. So when we were at this convention together, I said, how did you do that? She goes, oh, I have a whole bunch of videos that I do that I just have like in a bank, basically.
hmm
Then what she'll do is she doesn't really schedule, well, she'll schedule for the week. She doesn't schedule for the month. And so these things were coming out to just automated for her. And she's
hmm
grown her following to about 30,000 people. But it has taken her almost 6 years to do that. And so, yeah, overnight, very few people can do an overnight thing.
Yeah. That's amazing and also sad. Yeah. having a plan in place is really important. Like how do I want to show up online, and is social media like the platform that I want to show up on and like build my audience? And then if so, like yeah, what how am I gonna use like what's my plan for navigating all of life's ups and downs? And like I always recommend batching content only when we're feeling in our most creative energy. You can't force creativity, you can't force showing up online, especially on video and something. So I always recommend when you are feeling that, just go ahead and record as much as you can or create as much as you can, whatever that is for you. So that way you do have things ready to go for the days that you are not feeling it, which will happen more so than the days you are feeling it.
That is so true. Because, I mean, once you finally get the lights set up, because, I do videos and stuff, and once my lights are set up and my camera's set up and all these things, I'll do
Yeah.
like 6, 8, 10 videos at a time. But
Mhm.
it takes that oomph to finally get there, right? And so, yes, if you're feeling it, take advantage of it. I like that advice.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is a lot of work to set up. If you are doing lights and everything, or even just having your phone and going through the process of editing and thinking about stuff, it's all just a lot to do. So being able to do that for batching content is really time saving.
So, what's your advice about picking one social media and going and building that up and then going to another? Do you advise that or do you recommend doing multiple social medias at the same time?
Yeah, I say whatever is your capacity. So it's best to like get started on one platform. I think Instagram's really good for like hitting multiple things at once. So that's really a good home-based platform. And then if you have the capacity to do other platforms, it's always good to get started and start testing these different platforms. If you don't have the capacity to create individual content for every platform, then repurpose your content. So even if you use a social scheduler, so I use Metricool, and on there you can have all of your platforms connected. So I go on there, have my one piece of content that I created, and then post it across different things. Like for myself, I don't do a great job at marketing for my own self and doing all the things. So I'm just repurposing. But doing that helps test different platforms. And then if you see, oh, okay, I'm getting more traction here on Threads, so maybe then I invest my time here. But really, if are a solopreneur, it's good to just like, okay, this is what I can handle right now. I'm gonna dive into that. I'm not gonna spread myself too thin.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that we're really good at helping other people with whatever you
Yeah.
do, but doing it yourself, it's they're always talking about a financial advisor probably is a horrible financial person in his own personal or realtor. I can stage other people's houses, but look at my own. So it's just funny that because you do it for everybody else, and so you're like, oh,
hmm
and if you're working by referral, which is that what you mainly do, is work by referral?
Lots of referrals, yeah.
Okay.
hmm
And so if it's working for you,
Yep.
it's hard to.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you are B2B, as like if you're a solopreneur working for other solopreneurs, I like personally, I use my socials as a nurturing platform because, yeah, I can invest all the time in the world to create this perfect strategy, but it's just not like what works for me personally. And so, would I invest all that time into it? So I do a lot of like my brand awareness and like communities and networking and like getting face to face with people. And then I just use my social channels to like nurture those relationships, stay engaged with them, and then have a lot of content that reminds them that I still exist. So that's kind of how I just use my social platforms. And we can all have our own strategies for what works for us. And even other marketing agencies, I talked to somebody who does really well with ads and they don't do referrals and word of mouth. So we all have different things, even in our own industries, that work for us. And that's why it's really good to do a lot of testing and see what works for you, because there's no such thing as one size fits all in marketing, which is annoying.
No, but that's true because what one person likes, somebody else doesn't. It's
Yeah.
important to find somebody that knows your niche and what you like to do.
hmm
I hired a coach once where it's all about video. I think that they live on video 24/7, and I'm over exaggerating, but honestly, like video is the person's thing. And then the other one is direct mail marketing. That's how they make all their money, and they're never on video. So it's
hmm
just you have to figure out what works for you and what you like. And
hmm
that.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started?
So my background is in photography, and I started working with small businesses doing a lot of content creation, which was really fun back in the day, just taking little Instagram pictures. And so that just led them to like, hey, can you do this and this and this? And so I really just started filling my plate with a lot of different marketing things, and I really loved it. So I just dove in and taught myself everything, and it felt very fulfilling. So with photo, I'm very creative and it was a good creative outlet and it was fun, but I was like, I feel like I'm not contributing anything. So doing marketing helps me still be creative and fun, and I get to do all these fun little things, but I'm working with businesses who are giving back and making a difference in some way. So there's still a fulfilling aspect by helping them grow and making a difference through the work that they're doing. So that's how I got started. And in 2020, I was able to go full time and launched Plant and Marketing shortly after that. And as it grew, I really missed working with the small business solopreneur side. So that's why I launched my community in January of this year. And that's where I'm at now.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
With the people, how does your business work for marketing? How do you help other businesses?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we focus on like organic content marketing and like building communities. So with that, I we do a lot of like educational and like nurturing content so that way you're like the go-to source for your audience for whatever you're learning about. What's a good example of that? This is not a good example of like my audience, but I really love talking about Red Bull for this example. Like when you think about Red Bull, you're thinking of all of their videos and all of their like stunts and all of their big events.
Mhm.
And that's like a really good example of content marketing. Like they're creating these really insane events, people are coming to them, then they're turning that into video content and then social content, and then people are sharing that content. And all of their th stuff revolves around like really high action adrenaline, which is what the base of their product, their drink is about, is like making you feel pumped and like hyped. So that's not really a brand that I would work with personally, but a good example that everybody usually knows and like how content marketing works. And just builds a community around your audience. I actually was talking about Williams Sonoma yesterday. So they do these little cooking classes or presentations at their stores. And I found out about that through TikTok, and now I go pretty frequently and I bring my friends to it. And so that's a really good example of like community building as well. I've never once visited their website or their social channels. I was never their target audience, but through these events and like bringing the community together, that's how I learned about them. And now I like their products. I didn't even know they have food in their store. So now I really love their food. So that's the kind of stuff that we do with our clients as well, is just like build community around your brand.
I love that. And I don't know, for me, that's something that is important because a lot of times people they choose to build a business because they want to help other people and they're
Hmm.
something they're passionate about. And so why not become the go-to community market leader for that business? So
Yeah.
good. You talked about like I don't know if it was hubs or spokes or something and different things that a solopreneur or entrepreneur should know. So do you want to share that?
Going back on what I said about not spreading yourself too thin, but I promise this will all tie together. So basically, think of your marketing as a wheel, and then you have your spokes, right? So when you invest, some people only do social and then they don't do networking or they don't do websites or emails or like anything else. When these social platforms go under, then you've lost all connection with your audience. So I like to say if you have these spokes all working in one place, if something falls out, your whole business isn't going to crumble. So I like to do this exercise with people to help identify what all of their spokes are that bring this cohesive marketing strategy together without overwhelming you at the same time. So that could be using email marketing, so having a place to sign up for your audience to go, and that could be one way. So that way, if social falls out, or if networking falls out, or again, if you have life's ups and downs and you don't want to do something for a while, there's still always something working for you in the background. So email's a really good way. Going to networking or communities is a good marketing spoke. Having a strong website with SEO and blog content scheduled is really valuable. Social media. LinkedIn, Pinterest. So just kind of identifying what 4 or 5 things that you can have going for you that aren't a huge investment. So maybe you are doing just one email newsletter a month or something, or you're attending one networking or in one community or something like that. So it could still be really low lift, but you just want to make sure that you have all of these things working for you in place so that if something isn't working anymore, it's not going to completely tumble everything.
I like that a lot. That's really good advice. And
Yeah.
it's true. We've been spoiled that Facebook has been around for a while, which bought Instagram, but you never know.
Yeah, and we see this all the time on Instagram, right? It's like, oh, something changed and now my reach is not reaching. Or if you make one mistake on Facebook and they ban you, that's unfortunate too. So if you get locked out of something, you have all these other things working for you. And yeah, we see that with social the most. It's like, oh, cool, they showed my post to 5 people. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yep, no, that's true. So,
Mhm.
how do you improve your reach to people?
So right now, Instagram specifically, like every platform is really moving towards a keyword strategy. So that helps because you can do keyword research and use that across all of your social platforms, your blogs. It could be pretty general. It doesn't have to change so much from platform to platform. So doing keywords and including that in your content more so than like hashtags is what we used to use a lot. I like to do a lot more interactive things. So like on stories, if I use stickers or something or just nothing, like I get pretty good reach, but as soon as I put links in my stories, it shows it to 5 people. So I've dropped using links and just use stickers. And if people want to interact, then I'll send them the link as a direct message, which is also really good because when you're messaging people on Instagram, it shows that platform that you want to see more of their content. So that's a good tip that I use. And also just staying up to date with like what their new features are, which is really annoying. I hate this game that they play, but they're like, oh, Instagram just released edits, which is their video editing thing. So through edits, the app, if you publish a video through that, your reach will get higher, which is annoying. They have trial reels now, which I just learned is only available for people with over 1,000 followers. So if you don't have access, that's why. But if you use that, you're getting good reach. So like anything new that they've implemented, always get on board with it and use it, and you'll get a higher reach. So yeah, I don't really like to play their games. I hate it all, which is why I don't use Instagram personally as a brand awareness thing because I don't want to feed into them. I hate them. I post a lot of like meta hating content. So if that's your thing, you'll find that here.
That is so good to know. So hashtags are kind of a thing of the past now. So it's more keywords and like on YouTube, they have
Hmm.
that section down below where they call it tags. And so you
Hmm.
like write a whole bunch of stuff and you can use 500 characters or something. So how do you build that to like a YouTube following or like is it keywords or is it more just the tags?
Yeah, so I don't do a ton of YouTube work, but yeah, it would all be keyword based as well.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, I don't have a ton of advice for YouTube, but generally everything's keyword. And when I do keyword research, I'm using platforms like SEMrush or Answer the Public, Ask the Public. I can't remember what it is, but platforms like that that tell you what people are searching for right now and like the search volume. So you're using keywords, but you're also creating content that people are literally looking for right now, which helps as well.
Such good advice. And that might
Mhm.
explain why some of my videos, like I'll get 3,800 views on one and then five on another. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. I need to start using that more.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's okay too
yeah,
because YouTube is like good evergreen content. So like maybe people aren't searching for it right now, but they might be some other day and it'll be there for them.
true. Any other advice that I haven't asked you about that you wanted to share?
I feel like we really talked about a lot of good things. I don't want to overwhelm people.
No, I appreciate that. Well, starting your own business, what do you wish you know now that you wish you would have known when you started out?
Mm, yeah, so many things. I would say community has been huge. So this past year and a half now, I really dove into working and being in different community spaces, which has been so valuable. Obviously, making connections, learning from other people, not feeling so alone with all of the things that we're experiencing. And it's also just a better way to connect with people because these social platforms are so up in the air, how we connect with people. So going to these community spaces is a really good place to get that direct connection. I think that's made the most impact on my business in this last year and a half is just making more real connections with people.
And I love the keyword real. No,
Yeah.
that you're actually having interactions and talking with people, because that's what makes my day. When I start to feel down or depressed or something, all I have to do is call my clients. Hey, how's it going? I haven't talked to you for a while. And now I'm happy again, right? And so it's those connections that we have with people that really do matter versus it's fake. Oh, I have this many friends or this many people saw me. Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on. If our listeners wanted to learn more or talk with you about growing their brand and their marketing, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So you can go to plantedmarketing.com and you'll find all of my links. So I'm on every social platform as Planted Marketing as well. So feel free to connect with me wherever you live online. But on my website, you can find more about info about the greenhouse, which is a super affordable membership. If you're like solopreneur and you've done all the webinars, done all the workshops, and you're still like, what am I doing now? You can get good one-on-one support in there. I do one-on-one consulting sessions, or if you're just ready to completely pass everything over, you can learn more about working with Planted Marketing. I also have tons of resources on the small business resource page on my website, free downloads and ways to grow there as well. So yeah, feel free to connect with me anywhere.
Thank you. And I have one last question.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Planted Marketing?
So I was working with a lot of small businesses and I was building everything from scratch. Like people would come to me with their idea and that's it. So I was literally just like planting their business and I just stuck to the bit with the greenhouse and now it's my whole identity.
See, I just love how people come up with how it evolves, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. This is really fun. It was good to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. And moms, we didn't really talk about motherhood today, but what I do want you to remember is that you got to know your audience. And once you can identify your audience, then you can start planting your ideas and going from there. So if you have any questions, you need help, please reach out to Berlyn and go out and make it a great day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.